Hello. Hi, I am Sarah of Sarah Wing Intuitive Arts. And hi, I am coming on today to talk about the divine masculine and divine feminine energies. I'm seeing this come up in a lot of different conversations lately, and it's touching many lives of people I love and care about. And in a range of ways, in so many different ways. I've had this topic come up in a shamanic class circle. I've had this topic spring forth talking about visibility and being more visible in the world, just all kinds of ways. So, hi, like I said, I'm Sarah of Sarah Wing Intuitive Arts. You can find my art on my website at Sarah Wing Intuitive Art, or on Instagram at the same name, Sarah Wing Intuitive Arts. You can find more content on this channel here. You can find me on Facebook. So, I ended up at this kind of, I guess, like a more upscale thrift shop. I don't know how to describe it today. And I ended up trying on this bracelet, which just kind of like latched onto my arm and kind of like a cuff on me. I haven't even taken it off. I couldn't take it off in the store. I still have the price on it. But with all these conversations kind of swirling around concerning balancing the divine masculine and divine feminine energy within ourselves, I thought it was kind of interesting in one part to pick up this bracelet, which is this kind of coppery color. I don't know if it's copper or not. Let's call it copper. It's like kind of, it makes me think of gold, right? Gold jewelry and silver jewelry. You see that a lot, right? It's in gold, it's in silver. And this is kind of this merging. It kind of made me think of like this melting, this merging of the two, this balance of the gold with the silver. And so I pulled out this this lovely little copper printed ring, and I pulled out a copper top, and I just thought, let's do it this way. Let's kind of bring in this balanced energy in terms of this silver and gold divine energies, kind of this merging, this balance of the two. So that's what I was thinking about with that. So yeah, and we also have, astrologically, we have Venus and Mars. So even if you don't know astrology, you've probably heard the term men are from Mars, women are from Venus. So just not really needing to march into that too much, but it's this idea of a masculine energy and a feminine energy. This kind of creator energy of the feminine, this this sometimes that looks like kind of like the method to the madness, versus like the masculine energy, which is very direct. And in terms of Mars and Venus, when we talk about Mars is a very direct energy. So there's just a lot going on, I feel like, in the collective consciousness, between these kinds of elements. This balance of the masculine and the feminine is coming up a lot. And I'm talking about energy, so I'm not talking about gender. I'm not talking about sexuality. I'm not talking about any of this. I'm talking about the divine masculine, divine feminine energies. So it could be as easy an example of like I said, this kind of creatrix energy, this creator, right? This kind of like inspiration, all these ideas, and then this is the feminine, divine feminine, and then the divine masculine comes in, and it's like, ooh, all these great ideas. Okay, the feminine sits and kind of grounds on them and is sitting, and the masculine energy, the divine masculine energy, comes in and gives a little clarity here and says, okay, this feeling of you're ready, we're going to give you that push. Let's be direct. Let's communicate this creative idea that's percolating up in you. So that kind of idea of balance of these energies, where there's this harmony, this union, where they're assisting one another. One is not greater than the other. It's kind of like, I think, without even knowing if what you're experiencing a high or energy drain of, if it's like a masculine or feminine divine energy, we often feel, when we feel out of balance, we feel like, all we want to do is like, we want to get to this balance, right? And sometimes we feel like we're on this seesaw where we're there. If anybody's ever left you alone on a seesaw, I mean, it's like thud, and you're not going anywhere. You need this kind of partnership, a beautiful example in my shamanic class last night was the idea of roots as the feminine, wings as the masculine, and it's this beautiful anchor. So you think of that like the seesaw. So it's like you're anchored, yet you have wings. You can still go up. You're taking flight with this idea. And when we feel clunk, one side clunked out, it's not a fun feeling. We feel overwhelmed. We feel drained. If it's a toxic feminine energy, it can be a manipulative energy. If it's a toxic masculine energy, it can be this aggressor. I spoke about Mars and Venus. Whew. If you've ever heard anyone talk about Mars is a very aggressive. Mars can be extremely aggressive energy, and this is kind of like that's the toxic when it's not direct, it turns into an aggressor, a bully. Yeah. So I just grabbed a few decks here, which to me were very expressive of divine feminine, divine masculine energy. One's Amor and Psyche. There's the Enchanted Love Tarot and also the Secret Language of Color. Color has no gender. I could have also grabbed angels. I feel like angels, archangels, we give them genders, but in general, we even make a point to say some archangels are kind of more androgynous. They can, I don't know. I have a book on female archangels, but just the essence of this great energy that surrounds us is why I kind of mentioned colors and then archangels. There are these beautiful supportive energies, I specifically chose to throw like a little red up here just to kind of lift up a little bit of my energy. Although I threw some kind of mustard behind me. So you know what? That's even better. This is ketchup and mustard, man. Okay. There's the balance you try to find in life, right? Ketchup and mustard. I did that on purpose. Starting now. So I'm just gonna draw some cards, and we're gonna discuss the feminine and masculine energies, and talk about things like being visible and how we feel comfortable being visible, and how we might feel insecure to show up for ourselves, but in the lightest and kindest way possible. And to start that off, I'm just going to grab a charm. I'm going to grab two because for a long time, this is what I thought the divine masculine was. And let me tell you, if you don't know, this is the character Dean Winchester from Supernatural. And like 99% of that show, this is a very toxic masculine energy. So let's see what else we can bring up with. Whew, oh my God, I'm dropping stuff like crazy. That's interesting. Okay. Okay, and to meet this kind of toxic masculine energy, it's really interesting because the next charm I drew is this beautiful gold. So we have this gold with this lovely ruby in the center. And then I also grabbed a dolphin. So gold is the highest vibration. Okay. So the gold metal is the highest vibration of metal or color or both. Google it. And ruby, I'm just going to go with heart chakra. So this is more like expressing yourself, expressing these energies from a heart-centered space, from speaking your truth from your heart. Okay. Being discerning that, or the feminine of like gathering what your truth is and then carrying your truth, and the clarity of the masculine to know when to speak it and who is honorable and worthy of hearing your truth. And then this lovely little dolphin, and the dolphin just makes me think of that mating, soulmate energy, love. And I don't even know if that's a natural trait of this beautiful creature, or if every time I see an image of a dolphin, it's always related to something to do with love. So on one hand, okay, this, and I, in a very literal way of masculine, the bad boy toxic masculine energy, you know. But again, we're not talking specifically when I say divine masculine energy. I'm not talking about gender. I'm not talking about sexuality. Oh, that's fun. Let's just bring Dean Winchester into this. If anyone's even seen one episode, you have to remember and know who Dean Winchester is. So building on that, all right, so we kind of went from a range of kind of one side to the other there, and expressing these energies in a balanced way, in a more confident way, or in a more antagonistic, aggressive way. There's a new moon in Gemini, and I realize that I might just be very all over the place. Gemini is a mutable sign. I have my rising in Gemini, my moon in Gemini. So I might be a little extra all over the place. So hopefully this is fun. So let's see what the Amor and Psyche Oracle has to tell us. All right, this is beautiful, and I have not memorized all these cards, so isn't that beautiful? So Beyond Words, 29. That's really beautiful, isn't it? Beyond Words. That's so lovely. So already we're getting this idea of, talking about the feminine, masculine energies. And so beyond words already makes me think of beyond the form, beyond the physical form, right? Beyond what society has said you're allowed to, no matter how society has said, if you identify as, a woman or a man, like however society said you can act in these quote unquote more masculine, more feminine ways, when it's just really about balancing the truth within ourselves of slowly but surely in life, figuring out what we align with, what interests us, what we're passionate about, what we want to talk about, what we want to put out into the world. And to do that, it takes creation, and it takes that push out. It takes that communication. It takes speaking that truth. It takes both. And that involves the feminine and the masculine energies. Again, regardless of, I know women that, would probably be labeled as extremely masculine because of the way that they have been able to conquer in the business world, and it's kind of silly. It's kind of a silly thing. And I feel like in part the reason that they've been able to do that is because they're also so grounded in their feminine energy. And it's so important to embrace not just it's almost like embracing half yourself, embracing half of your capacity to engage in wisdom and then release it into the world. You can gain wisdom and then keep it to yourselves. You can release yourself in the world like a complete idiot. And I think we know people that do both. And that's really one without the other. It's a tough road. It's a tough journey. But when we embrace wisdom, when we align with ourselves, and then we, go forth and go, I want to go there. And it's this masculine energy that goes, we're going, we're going to go. In fact, we're ready. We're climbing this mountain. We're going to talk about it. You're going to put your voice out there. So let me look really briefly at 29 in the book. So pretty. 29. Nothing like trying to cool down a room and then you smell somebody's effing barbecue smoke coming in your window. All right, let's see. Christ. The Cristo. Let's see. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, because I'm trying to read it in Italian. I took like one semester of Italian, but that's not going to work. Okay. So many languages in this one. Silence is golden. Okay, so it's already focused on the inward, this inner knowing, right? And a lot of the times you can just think of the feminine as an inner and the masculine as an outer, in a very generic black and white way. But there is this push-pull, and it doesn't matter, you could flip it. It's just so much of the time we think of inside out instead of outside in. Or I do. Let's see. The love story. She didn't need to ask her where to move her hands. She didn't need to let her know just how to sway her hips. They didn't need to speak or utter a single sound. They instinctively knew just how to move with each other in time and beyond. Their love was timeless, unspoken, and drawn from the great well of silent knowing. beyond all sight and sound. Through their love, they found forever. So this is a deep, deep knowing. This feels like a sacred knowing and a sacred intention and a sacred honoring of nourishment and acting on giving yourself the kind of nourishment you need. And I'm just going to stop on that. I just thought there's so many times when we feel like honoring ourselves is all about what can we do, and we have a mental list or a physical list, or there's a list in some form out there that's calling out at us in one way or another that we have to act, we have to do this, we have to go forth and we have to do these things. This is how we'll give to ourselves. And so often it's the silent things that don't have a voice that are so important to give and nourish ourselves with, like rest, like with good food, like with water, like with movement and exercise. And these are things that are in the silence. You know, the silence is golden. Our bodies, you know, aren't. Sometimes it's like, yeah, when you reach depletion, when you're malnourished and in the literal or metaphorical way, our bodies do scream out at us. But initially, you know, our bodies, these temples, it is a kind of silence, because if we're not tending to what we need, we really only listen for the screams because we're so busy attaining to the outer needs, to giving to ourselves in a way that is with, you know, giving one thing but not the other, and then again, crunk. I mean, I don't know about you, but if you've ever suddenly found yourself one day in distress because your body all of a sudden is calling out to you and you're in a lot of pain, it is this clunk, you know, it is this teeter-totter thud. And if you've never been on a seesaw or teeter-totter, you know, go out right now, stop the video, go ahead and just find an elementary school, not during recess, but I think, you know, so make sure school's out, and and then like go on a teeter-totter with someone and then ask them to get off the teeter-totter and thud. Okay. Or, you know, watch a YouTube video. But the point is, it is that heavy. And a lot of times we feel like, why did you forsake me? Body, why did you forsake me? When the truth is, like, stuck together like glue, babe, like for life, you know, you got it. So there's really no abandoning happening with your body. It was more like, you know, you have to, it's all those times when there was no screaming, it was silent. And sometimes we don't understand how silence is golden. Silence is this beautiful golden thing. And when we have this beautiful gift of silence, if we nourish from a heart space, attend to what our body's asking, our heart is asking, if we listen from our heart space to what we're receiving, our insights, our intuitions, and act on them, the gentlest, stupidest, smallest, silliest things, it just encourages more and more nourishment in a way that is so profound. It's almost ridiculous, by taking really stupid small steps. Next time you're just sitting and you have a little insight of, I should do this. It could even be, I should sit differently. I should get up and go do this for a few minutes. I should go check on this. Ooh, the weather's still good. I was going to go outside. I should really, go take a walk in nature. Or I should get up and drink a glass of water. I might feel, I think I'm a little thirsty. It does so much. And instead of waiting to hear that screaming to key you in, the silence, that golden silence, that energy gets more recognizable. And instead of going, I should get up and get a glass of water, you're already up, you're already walking. Or I should actually go to bed now. Instead of fighting yourself, I can't be the only one, right? Then you just go, yeah, I'll go to bed. And it's not a fight anymore. All right. Awesome. Copper. All right. So the Enchanted Love Oracle. A lot of lovey stuff astrologically right now. So let's love ourselves. Yeah, let's see. Here. All right. So we got 5 of shells, disappointment in reverse. So let's see if we can. Tarot cards. So some tarot cards, there's a right side up and a reverse, and it's kind of give you an option to look at things in the positive, and then maybe examine some ways that are you acting from a less than supportive way to yourself, or the negative. Let me look at the 5 of shells. Shells. What color is this card? Five. Okay, so I'm going to say this right now. This is one of those, the first word has like a kind of a judgment call. So if you want to kind of think in your head of a question you have, like a yes or no question, this would be a fun time to play that instinctive game. Think about it. Pause the video. Think. I'm going to read 5 shells. Disappointment. What is that? Like being unbalanced. Yeah, we feel disappointed when we don't have the energy for something or something falls through. Yet we keep doing half of what we need. Balance. So disappointment. No! Exclamation point. Past disappointments may be preventing you from enjoying the present. A period of disappointment, indifference, or rejection can cause confusion as to how to react. Walking away from the relationship may not solve the underlying problem. Problems that are not severe can often be dealt with in the relationship, or they will only come back again in a different form or in a different relationship. Staying with someone you should leave because of violence or other forms of abuse can have devastating effects, especially if children are involved. Professional help might be necessary. So this is a very serious card. So just to highlight part of that message, which is if there's any form of abuse, I don't care what it is, physical, mental, emotional, any kind of abuse, any kind of harassment. If you're an energetically sensitive person and you think, well, I have to, I want to hold space for this relationship, this person, you do not owe it to them at all. I've said this before. If you believe in soul contracts, say you're like, I know this person, I've known them in a past life. That's great. But the moment abuse of any kind enters, that contract is null and void. Okay? Teeter-totter out. Seesaw, boom. Leave them. We don't. You do not need to hold space for someone. It does not change that person. Codependence and wanting to rescue someone will tell you differently, but you are wrong. At the very best, you can delude yourself into believing that your emotional, mental, physical, financial super glue or stapling that is keeping that person together will keep them together for, you know, the next day, or as far as you can kind of imagine as you're in this unhealthy relationship where you're trying to hold space. At that point, the only person that you need to hold space for is yourself. Okay? And if you find yourself leaving a relationship and you feel like you're in this pattern and you keep going through these patterns and you're like, again, this would be a great time to really look into the dynamics of the masculine, divine masculine energy and divine feminine energy. And kind of look at what part of these energies do you embrace? What aspects, what qualities do you run away from? You know, I heard this beautiful insight the other day about being hesitant to embrace the divine masculine when out of fear that there won't be time for rest and wisdom, which are divine feminine energy traits. And that definitely has resonated with me. And I don't think there's a magical mathematical equation where you go, okay, I wake up, I drink my coffee, I'm going to eat something, and then I'm going to do this divine feminine energy action, and then balance it with this divine masculine energy action, and then I'll just repeat it every day. That's not life, right? Because life is expansion and change. But cluing yourself into the energies, these divine energies present in all of us, and which ones do we embrace? And are there aspects that we run away from or shut down from because we fear of losing some other qualities we do give to ourselves, or we hear in our ear and from our ancestry and from our childhood that masculine and feminine, these energies are really just all about this physical body, and we're not allowed to be we're not allowed to be direct. We have to be very passive. We're not allowed to present ourselves, or vice versa. So things to consider. The first teacher that I ever started exploring this topic and these ideas with was Matt Kahn, in his book Everything is Here to Help You. Oh, it's like almost my eyeshadow color. So I hold this up because I love all my teachers. Matt Kahn, I don't know, I could talk about how much I love Matt Kahn for a very long time. But okay, so why are you disappointed? What's this disappointment about? What is this disappointment about? And also, if you're in a relationship and there's disappointment, that there's a component of betrayal. I know that can be really difficult where we feel betrayed or we've been hurt by someone. Just remember to honor who hears your words of hurt. Not everybody can receive them. Can that person who's hurt you receive them? If not, who can in your life? And most importantly, are you hearing them first and foremost? If you're hurt, if you're so hurt, almost beyond words, the opposite of this beautiful image where it's not embracing beyond words, but being at a loss for them, not even knowing how to express it. Let's say you're feeling disappointed and hurt and you don't even have the words. You don't even know how to express it. most likely, even if somebody who you're in this cycle with that brought upon this hurt, or again, if it's abuse, leave, 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 leave. I know, but they won't. Yep, but nope. Your health, your well-being, your everything is worth a million times over everything you could possibly think you can give to somebody else. Give it to yourself. Even if you're with someone who can receive these words, and even as you're parting or you've parted, could compassionately get why you'd be hurt, if you don't have the words, if you can't articulate or emotionally grasp what it is, that other person can't do that for you. You have to do that for yourself first and foremost. You have to find what it is you're even feeling. What are you thinking? And in a very simplistic way, you could look up divine masculine energies, divine feminine energy, and look at these beautiful qualities and just start to kind of go, do I understand this? And how do I feel about it? Do I understand this? And how do I feel about that? Do I embrace these things? Do I distance myself from these things? And just maybe as an abstract exercise to then help gather emotions and then gather words around the way you feel hurt or the way you feel harmed, or the way you feel confused or displaced, or you could have hyper mind and just be your thoughts running like crazy. But even if you have this fast running mind, it doesn't mean that you have this, balanced understanding and grip on what you're thinking, what you're feeling. So I do one more card, and that's going to be a color card. And like I said, yeah, and also with the angels, color. Then I brought up the angels, the archangels. In teachings, I'll often hear an archangel comes in with this color. In fact, I think Jophiel comes in with kind of this pink magenta energy. Jophiel, the beauty of God. Or you could say the beauty of the divine, or beauty of whatever you like. If God is a triggering word for you, use whatever you like. Ooh, plum. Okay, probably should have taken plum, but we're going to get lovely color. Kind of do a balance here. To kind of do a balance here, violet, create a balanced life. I love it. Yeah, beautiful. So we're talking about this balance between the divine feminine, divine masculine energies. And here is this beautiful violet, create a balanced life. And in part, it also makes me think of the violet flame, for anybody that works with the violet flame. And just this kind of, and then that makes me think of kind of a surrender or purging, if you will, of the things that cloud your creativity, or cloud your discernment, cloud your clarity, and just this handing them over in the many, many ways. Some people offer them up to the violet flame. Some people offer them to the divine, to the universe, to the moon. Maybe when you offer over these things, it's not consciously worded as such. Maybe it's just through exercise. Maybe you're exerting yourself, and this is your offering, is just being with yourself and giving this physical exertion over. It's this release. I know so many times when I was starting to do yin yoga, especially with hip opener, and you're going like that for, let's say, 20 minutes. There's a lot, especially I guess speaking for myself, like as a woman, there's a lot that is opened up. And I've been surrounded by people who will just bawl their eyes out. So that kind of offering. And I'm just going to read a little bit about Violet. And the number is 45. And I kind of like this because, so 4 and 5 is 9. 9 to me is a number of completion. And when I was looking at Beyond Words 29, I was also thinking the same thing. This idea of completing something, just with the 9. So it's before going into 30. And I think Saturn just went retrograde, but there's something called the return of Saturn, which happens a couple times in your life. The first time is between 28 and 30. And then 58 and 60, and then 88. Anyway, but it's these kind of cycles that come in, and they really do reorganize and reframe and redistribute, and it can kind of feel like this really strong goddess energy. I have a little image of Kali here. It can almost be like this Kali energy, where it seems like there's a lot of crumbling. Sometimes it can feel a little chaotic, but it really is this reframing. It's this time, and if you're going through one of those cycles, most likely it would be 28 to 30 or 58 to 60. There's this natural responsiveness, right? It's this responsiveness to these shifts. And sometimes it can feel dismantling, and sometimes it can feel like the world is opening up to you, or, you know, the mantle of the earth beneath you is just shifting, and it's exhilarating, and it's a little scary, but there's this kind of energy that's in movement, that's just embracing, and this very like you're ready type feeling, because the time is nigh, the time is now, and it's a strongly active time. And generally speaking, I think this is just a very activated time for so many people I know. The movement is strong. The ideas are percolating, and I mean, men and women I know are really embracing the divine feminine and divine masculine energies, and really taking all that we've been creating and putting a voice to it and putting it out there. And I know I'm very Gemini energy right now, but this is an example of just that unto itself. And in general, you know, as somebody who is an empath and somebody who wants to help other people who are sensitive people, or whose nervous systems really need to be able to relax through such things as using your voice, speaking what is so creatively important to you, is so essential to your nature. I love doing videos like this because it's just saying, trust yourself, cultivate this courage, cultivate this comfortability with yourself to trust in the moment, to speak, to know that whoever you're speaking to, whatever you're creating, putting out there, is going to reach the right people at the right time, and consciously, unconsciously plant these seeds that you can speak your voice, you can create your truth in the world. You know, this is such a potent time right now. Oh, I love this. Violet regenerates your nervous system. Just talking about the nervous system. Violet regenerates your nervous system and heals insomnia. Woohoo! Mental disorder. Woohoo! Physical illness and injuries affecting the eyes and the brain. It is especially helpful with treating epilepsy, balancing energy. Come on now, balance. And reprogramming cells. Violet also activates intuition, right on, opens creativity, and increases psychic senses to release karma and regain freedom from past issues. That's gorgeous. So much of what we've been talking about. And when it says increases the psychic senses to release karma and regain freedom from past issues, that card that came up about disappointment. So to me, karma is choices. It's making choices, right? Using these internal, external, doing and being, and it's what results from these choices. So something that violet, so wearing violet, looking at violet, printing out a picture of the color violet, wearing violet, putting violet on your eyes, wearing a violet ring, wearing a violet color, wearing violet glasses, if you wear those colored glasses. It's something that is, oh, and I actually have, I use my little shiny violet colored Trixie Mattel lip stuff. But so violet is something that's going to be encouraging your psychic senses, meaning tapping into, instead of just jumping headstrong into the next thing, again, the same way, resulting in the same karma, the same patterns, karmic patterns, tapping into your psychic senses, tapping inward, and trusting what you're getting. So maybe just meditating, closing your eyes, meditating on the color violet. See what comes through and see if you don't get images or thoughts or ideas that drop in that give you guidance and light you up to a greater awareness on something that might be disappointing now or is a cycle, so a karmic pattern of disappointments. Yes. I was going to say something else, but maybe there's the archangel that comes in with the violet ray. I don't know who that is, but you can look it up. And then maybe do some automatic writing to that angel, that archangel. Or you can just ask angel of the ray of violet, or you can do automatic writing to angel of the ray of violet. There's this beautiful, this is making me think also of like fairies. So maybe if you connect with those other worlds, you connect with fairies, connect to this violet, this balance. And I just got the word rebel. So maybe you're a bit of a rebel. Maybe you're rebellious and you love fairies. And you just have this rebellious genius type energy, but it's a little out of balance. So maybe it's more like throwing punches and Molotov cocktails, like rebellious. And you want to be more like, change my life, change the world, and just light everybody up with these wonderful creative things that you have brewing, these ideas. So maybe work with like violet fairies just came to mind. Work with the violet fairies. I've decided that's a wonderful idea. All right, cool. So whomever stumbles upon this, as always, know that you are deeply, deeply loved. You are a beautiful, 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 beautiful human being. You have deep love, grace, generosity, care, and value to offer, not just to the world and not to the world first, but to yourself first. And to those who you deem worthy, or to those you care for, children, animals, other people that maybe you give support and care to, and then to the rest of the world. But first and foremost, that love, intelligence, grace, kindness, all these things that are within you and that you present in the world through your personality. These are gifts to yourself first. So I wish you the best tapping into your divine masculine and divine feminine energies. And I encourage you to just, take a little time and see, explore and see what you kind of hold back with, what you engage with more, and see how you can work with them to just bring more of yourself to the forefront. First and foremost to yourself, and then to help light up and shine who you are on the rest of the world. All right. Love you, and until next time.